Welcome to Apricot Cottage Studio. Today we're going to be making some beautiful cards with the new pansy patch. I've got the paper here, and this is coming in the new catalog in May. The first thing I did when I got the paper is to take my dies and cut out a whole sheet of the beautiful pansies. So you can see I have quite the pile to make a lot of cards. There is a pansy sheet that you can cut out. There is some pretty gingham, and there is also a full sheet of leaves, two sheets of leaves that you can cut out with dies, as well as some other real pretty background papers with the new in colors. So the card we're going to make today is a thank you card, and it's fairly simple. But I've used some of the new dies to give it some interest. So one of the ones that I used is the tailor made dies, tags. These are two sets of tags that come together, and they've got two different toppers and some of the little round shapes that go on the where the thread will go through, or the ribbon will go through. So I've used one of the tailor-made tags to cut my sentiment. And the other one that I used was the basic borders. And this is a new die set, and it comes with all these different borders. And I've used this one with the stitching to cut the designer paper, and it gives a really interesting shape. And I'm going to show you in this video how to do the stamping, because this is not just a two-step stamping, it's multiple steps. It's very easy to do, but I'm going to demonstrate it. So there's my thank you card. So I've got a base for my card with the dark green, and then I've used the soft succulent for a layer. And then because I took a piece of designer paper, I cut it with the border die, and that gave me a shape, and then I just flipped it so that I could make this card a little bit more unique. This one's got the flowered side, this one's got the striped side. So the inside of my card is going to be stamped, and I don't have the pads yet, the ink pads, so I'm going to use the markers. I always purchase the markers to start with to see if I like any of the ink colors. I thought I was going to be ordering a ink pad in the pink, but I think that the beautiful Freesia is very pretty, and I think I will end up ordering that one for sure. Now, the dark green makes a great base, so instead of using my ink pads, I'm going to use my marker, and I just take my marker and drag it along, making sure that I've got all the edges. And if you look at it closely, because this is a polymer stamp, you can see where you need to ink. And then give it a little huff. So this says, the little things you do make such a big difference. So there's my sentiment. And now I'm going to stamp a flower on the inside, and I'm going to show you the steps to do that. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use the solid base, and that's the first one. And I'm going to use my marker with the soft Freesia to color it all in, making sure I get the edges. If I hold it up, I can see it, making sure I've got all of it. Give it a little huff just to put some moisture in, and then I'm going to stamp it down. Doesn't look like much yet, but it will be a beautiful flower once we get the layers on. So that's the first one. The next one has got some detail, and I'm going to use Gorgeous Grape, and I do have that ink pad. And I'm going to ink that down. It's easy to mark it because it's got these two little wings on either side that are easy to line up. So there's my detail. So it's starting to take shape. And then I'm going to use the Highland Heather for the little tongue fuzzy piece. And turn it around so that the little wings line up. Doesn't have to be a perfectly lined up one because it leaves white around the edges to make it look realistic. Then the last part is the little inside part, and I'm going to use Gorgeous Grape again, and that provides the tongue. There's my flower. Now I'm going to use the pale papaya to color the inside. It gives it a nice contrast. So there's the inside of my card. So I'm going to glue that down. There we go. So there's the inside. Now I'm going to glue the things I've made for the outside. So I've got a thank you, and I think this one I'm going to put on a little angle. Maybe I'll put this up with some Stampin' Dimensionals. Give it a little bit of interest. And I've stamped thank you, which is one of the sayings on the inside of the stamp set. Take off my little layers. There's my thank you. And now I've already pre-stamped one of the flowers, and I've die cut it out, and I've got my Stampin' Dimensionals on the back. And I've got some leaves, which I think I will glue on and tuck them underneath. And this one's going to be a little bit simpler than this card with the flowered one, but looks very nice on the inside. And then I've got a few other cards that I can show you that I've made. So my mom's 88th birthday is tomorrow. So for this one, I used the pansies that I'd cut out with the paper, and I've used the little tag, and I've cut out some sparkly numbers from a retired set, and I've used a little bit of sparkle on the tag. I've used some of the background paper, and I've used the bright pink, and on the inside it says love you much, and I've again used one of the flowers. Makes this really easy to make some beautiful cards. So there's a birthday card, and I've also done a matching tag out of the pink and used one of the little flowers that I had cut out for the matching tag. So that's for her birthday gift. This one, I again used the basic border, and I used this interesting squarish one to cut the white, and I cut the card so that I put another piece of the designer paper on the inside, and I stamped some flowers in yellow, and I used some embossing powder for the saying, and it says, wishing you a little extra happiness just because you're you. So a sweet little card there. And the last one I used the gingham paper that's on the back of the designer paper, and I've used the flowers that I've cut out, and because I have lots, and I put some of the flowers up with the Stampin' Dimensionals, again used a tag for the saying, and then one of the beautiful little bees that comes in the little container. I'm going to definitely have to order more of these because they're so sweet. And a little bit of grape ribbon, and there's my card with lots of pansies on it. Just perfect for this kind of season. Now if you check back with me, I'm going to be doing some more cards with the Pansy Patch, and I'm going to be using all of the dies that comes with the set. For these ones I just use the outline die, but there's some beautiful textured die, and it creates flowers like this. But I'm going to do a separate video to show you how to use those. Thank you for joining me today at Apricot Cottage Studio. If you're interested in the Pansy Patch, let me know. I do have a cheat sheet that I got from a demonstrator that I will give you if you purchase this set, because it helps you to understand the stamps and the dies, because it's a multiple step set. Thank you very much for joining me today.